This next one's from PC Gamer, written by Ted Litchfield. New report sheds light on Annapurna Interactive implosion while the parent company says it's focused on moving forward, hiring to fill the vacancies, and still working on the Blade Runner game, whose devs just walked out the door. It's quite the headline. Following the shocking mass resignation of publisher Annapurna Interactive's entire 25-person staff, a new report from IGN has provided more details about the gaming division's dispute with its parent company, Annapurna Pictures, and its billionaire owner, Megan Ellison. Anonymous former employees shared concerns about the interactive division's future under Annapurna Pictures and claimed that Ellison refused to continue working with them on an agreement to spin off the division. Spokespeople for the parent company claimed that the division's leader failed to respond to their efforts to move the process forward. Annapurna Interactive was founded as a gaming-focused subsidiary of Ellison's Annapurna Pictures in 2016, tapping veteran gaming talent, including former Sony employees Nathan Gary and Hector Sanchez. After a run of producing successful films like The Master, Her, Zero Dark 30, Annapurna Pictures began to struggle financially in the late 2010s. The interactive division, meanwhile, enjoyed continued success with games like Stray, Outer Wilds, and Neon White. Gary was named president of Annapurna Pictures overall in 2021, but a source that spoke to IGN alleged his focus remained on the gaming side of the company. After having remained hands-off with Annapurna for several years, following its late 2010 struggles, IGN reports that Ellison initiated a leadership shakeup in March. With conflicting accounts as to what precisely happened in the interactive division, anonymous former members claim that Nathan Gary was fired, while an Annapurna spokesperson says he resigned in response to other staff changes, as well as his effective demotion from being the head of Annapurna overall to once again just leading Annapurna Interactive. At this point, talks began between Gary and Ellison to spin Annapurna Interactive off into a more independent but still financially tied to Annapurna Pictures publisher called Verset. While negotiations moved forward, IGN sources were disturbed by some of Ellison's decisions and changes. Namely, Annapurna rehired founding Interactive executive Hector Sanchez as president of Interactive and New Media within Annapurna Pictures, independent of and arguably in competition with the established Interactive division. Annapurna Interactive employees say they were blindsided by Annapurna Pictures' publishing agreement with Remedy and Control 2. That's wild. Just to be like, wait, we're doing what? A partnership negotiated by Sanchez, with those employees only finding out about the Remedy deal the same day it was publicly announced. Annapurna spokespeople argued to IGN that the company always viewed Interactive Verset as an indie AA focus initiative, with Annapurna Pictures moving into the AAA space with Sanchez.
I didn't know they didn't know about it.
The Remedy deal?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, imagine that. Just like with everyone else finding out, like, oh, we're working on Control 2 and making movies and shows and games and this. Okay,
that's
cool.
Nuts.
Or publishing, I guess. It was a publishing partner, but
still.
IGN sources from the Interactive division and Annapurna's spokespeople offer conflicting accounts of the final breakdown in negotiations, but Annapurna claims that Nathan Gary failed to respond after the company agreed to the outline of a deal earlier this year. Any implication Annapurna was backtracking on the deal is false, a company spokesperson said. We agreed to high-level deal terms and signed a term sheet in early April, which makes it all the more surprising that we never got a response. IGN sources dispute the narrative, allege that Ellison refused to negotiate while taking a more direct role in managing Annapurna Interactive in that time, and say that they gave 2 weeks' notice ahead of their September 6th mass resignation, a notice period Annapurna did not seem to use to either negotiate further or warn its developers of the coming disruption. Okay, so according to the people who walked out, they said they gave a 2 weeks notice. It wasn't just a walkout. They gave the 2 in. Man, what wildly different accounts of the same story. The company is saying we signed a deal and they never got back to us about, moving forward with it. And then the people who walked out are like, no, there was no deal. We gave a 2 weeks notice and they didn't respond to us. And so we walked out. Like, such a mess.
Lying.
Such a mess. Oh yeah, it gotta be. They're so drastically different. Like sometimes like 2 accounts can be similar and be like, all right, I can see where the truth might lie in the middle of these 2. But these are so drastically different. There's no middle ground here. Like one person's flat out lying, and then the other group is like probably telling close to the truth. No one's going to tell the full truth, obviously. But While staff from Annapurna Pictures move in to handle the publisher's outstanding commitments to partner developers, one project has been left in a particularly absurd limbo: the internally developed Blade Runner 2033 Labyrinth. All of its full-time developers appeared to number among the 25 resignations, but Annapurna told IGN that development will continue, presumably under an entirely new team. An Annapurna spokesperson offered the final statement to IGN regarding the resignations. The whole situation is a baffler, but now we're focused on moving forward. We've had really great conversations with an overwhelming majority of our existing development teams and are grateful for their partnership. If our inbox is any indication, a ton of developers continue to want to be a part of what we're building, and we look forward to seeing their pitches. We've also had an influx of quality job applicants and are excited to build a team passionate about our mission to tell original stories that aren't being told elsewhere. P.S. We're hiring. Ooh, wow.
That pissed me off real bad. Wow. They said that, well, let me just make sure I have that right. That's the Annapurna bosses saying that, correct?
Yeah, that,
P.S. we're hiring.
P.S. we're hiring. Hey, we're excited to move forward with these new people we're hiring on. And yeah, even if they're the ones whose account is correct, like, and the people who walked out were just like totally false, ending the statement like that immediately kind of like negates any sort of like, you may have been telling the truth, but that's scummy a little. Like, I don't know. It just seems like so like, you know, I don't know, like underhanded. Maybe is the word I'm looking for. Like, right. You're a business. You don't need to be like
taking shots
like that in a press release, you know, an official statement. What a disaster of a situation. Yeah, I don't know how much opinion we have to share here, but it just seems wild to me. Again, I'll reiterate, we already said it before, but how vastly different the accounts are. Like, it almost seemed like I don't even know like how they could be so different, unless again, like somebody's just
making it up,
flat out lying. Because on one hand, they're saying like, we signed a deal, like we were ready to move forward, and then the other one's like, we weren't even close to signing a deal. They weren't listening to us, and we even gave it 2 weeks notice, and they didn't know we were going to quit. How? Like, it almost seems like both of them are lying. Honestly, reading through this, it kind of sounds like everyone's just lying. Like, no one is telling the truth.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I don't know who I can trust here. Like, can I trust the people who walked out? Can I trust the company? Like, I feel like I can't trust either of them, because that seems bonkers crazy that both of those situations would happen. Like, they would sign a deal, and then the people who wanted the deal wouldn't move forward with it, and then the other side, like, how could Annapurna say they had no idea all these people were going to walk out when supposedly they got a 2 weeks notice? Like, I don't know. It's a mess. It's a disaster.
I mean, at the end of the day, whoever actually is telling the truth, it's going to come out.
Yeah.
So we just have to be patient and wait and see what's going to happen. And once the truth comes to life, then we can make our judgments there. Regardless, my support is still with the people who were let go. That's really what I care about in this situation.
Well, they walked out. They weren't let go. They quit.
Well, you know what I mean? The people that left.
They walked out. Yeah.
Or who were basically like, forced out. So I'm still hoping that they land on their feet. So we'll keep it going there. I also, it's so crazy to believe. Like, imagine coming into work and seeing the news like, hey, Annapurna is going to be publishing all this new Remedy stuff, and finding out about it that way, like going to work and be like, wait, what? Like, right. I don't know. Things like that take a long time to broker those deals. And usually in most studios, I guess I would assume a lot of people would be involved in that. So it seems crazy. Like, how would nobody know? How would the whole studio like not know about that deal? Like, that's another thing. It kind of is like a little bit of a red flag. It's like, okay, like, could they not know at all? Unless it really was just a, back of a napkin kind of deal. Like, they just, what's his name sat down with like the head of Remedy at a bar, and it's like, hey, let's do this. And like, okay, like, I don't know what kind of weird deal is going on over there that no one else knew about it. Yeah, such
bizarre situation. I really just feel though like obviously it sucks for the people who walked out who now don't have jobs. They felt that they're only like in this situation their best chance was to just leave. Like that's sad. That sucks obviously. But I also feel really bad for all the businesses who, both big and small, because Annapurna is a publisher and they deal with bigger studios like Remedy, but they also deal with a lot of indie studios. And like, imagine having your game like about to be published by Annapurna, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, the publishing team's gone. Like you as an indie studio, like, or even if you're not an indie studio, but just a smaller studio, like being like, okay, well, what does that mean for my game? Like you say you're going to move forward and figure this out, but it takes time to hire people, train people, get them all orientated. Like, all right, maybe what if the game was supposed to come out in the next few months and now it's just not, like, or it can't, or if it does, it might just be a disaster. I feel really bad for people who had like projects either in the works or, you know, close to finish, because it's not like an overnight thing. You can just bring in a team and fix this, you know. This takes time. So yeah. I don't know.
We'll just have to see.
I hope they figure it out. I hope it doesn't hurt any of, you know, if there are indie developers out there who are working with them, I hope it doesn't hurt them too bad, because, you know, it's bad enough when, you know, we keep hearing about all these layoffs and stuff with these big studios. It's like, you know, it sucks, but they have thousands of employees. It's like, all right, well, if all of a sudden an indie studio is not able to make ends meet because they can't get their own game launched on time, well, that might be someone's livelihood. Like, that sucks. So hope they figure it out soon. Thank you so much for watching that clip from our podcast. Remember, if you want to watch the whole episode, the full episode, link will be in the description below. You can click on that and check it out. We got listener questions. We got more news segments. We got what you playing. We got a lot of fun things. So yeah, more than just the news. There's a lot more to the show that you should go check out. So remember, click that link in the description. Check out that full episode.